RTD Live Talk, the Monday night edition. Excited to be back. Looking forward to connecting and finding out what's going on, and more importantly, talking about what's making mainstream news. Not by coincidence, of course. Hope everyone's doing well on this Memorial Day. I want to send some shout out to those that have served and have given and sacrificed for this country. More props to you. May God bless you. And so, with that being the case, welcome to RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. So we are less than about 3 hours away from June 1st. And just based upon the current news and things like that, it's going to be a very interesting summer. We already knew that, but it's going to be a very pricey summer as well, because this deliberate attack or alleged attack is just not by coincidence, man. This is all geared towards them destabilizing and dismantling this country, one act at a time. So we'll talk about that, as well as a couple other things. Hope everyone's doing well. For those that might be tuning in for the first time, or any new members to the community, let me know where you're watching from. We'll love to give you a shout out in the chat. And then also when the phone line is open, 313-462. We'll love to hear from you directly and get your thoughts on this. And of course, everything, it starts on the surface with what we're being told. But then we like to dive underneath the surface and really talk about what's really going on. And I have a couple articles here that does a good job of doing that. And I wanted to get into a couple other subjects as well. So hopefully we'll have time to do that. But before I dive in any further, let me do a little maintenance on my end here. And then I'll acknowledge a couple people. And then let me actually log in so we can take some calls in a moment. And then we can continue to move forward. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me do some homework on my side here, and then we can jump right in. All righty. So making sure I'm logged in here. Let me skip a couple things here, and then we will be ready to go. All right. Skip all this other stuff I don't need. What is all this stuff back here? Okay. So we are good to go. All right. So let me log in. Let me check in with you guys. Okay. So for those that might be new to the channel, welcome. My name is Mike, the host of RTD Live Talk. And I want to make sure I inform you guys as to where you can stay connected at all times. And so if you go to rethinkingthedollar.com, that's the home base. I share articles throughout the day there, news stories, all the things I would recommend you guys watch and listen to. And then those that might be new, the most important thing is monetary literacy at this current moment, while things are still relatively affordable. And so I want to encourage you to test your dollar IQ. And that's step one of the 5 steps to unplug from the matrix. And of course, depending on how you do there, the average right now is still less than 60. And so we got a lot of work to do, people. So I encourage you, if you have not taken it, take it. And then if you have taken it, send a link to a friend, test them, let them be exposed to what they may not know about what they work for, what they save, what they invest in, i.e. the dollar. Hopefully they'll come to the light and be able to stack and get their weight up while they still can. So just something there. So if you guys are interested. And then this Wednesday night off air, we have our Patreon hangout. So for those that might be interested, want to support the channel as well as hang out, help me co-host live on air or off air, but on screen, consider supporting the channel. Any monetary donation here will be of support, and you can join us live on Wednesday at 9:30. And then for those who want to connect off air and share articles and contribute to a lot of the posts or whatnot, feel free to go to the social media tab. And I encourage you to join the email list, which gives you a chance to get notified directly by me. The Discord page is where videos and articles are shared throughout the day from all your favorite content creators. And then also, I'm encourage you to check with me on Telegram. I'm doing more stuff over there as well. And so let's keep it moving right along. Let me check in real quick, acknowledge a couple people for sharing their thoughts. And as always, if you have questions or thoughts, just highlight at Rethinking the Dollar. It'll jump out and we'll jump right on it. So we got Elias Jones in the building. Appreciate you, my man, for checking in. A lot of thoughts there. I'll get back to that. Dude boy. We got Mastodon. What else we got here? Low blood pressure. We got DC Precise. We got who are Faith Parent in the building. JB. Keep it moving. We got Lane. How you doing, my friend? We got our Mother's Way checking in with us. We got the Pothead. We got Mike Bruce. Okay. We got an alternative here. Okay. Appreciate you. We got Philman with a question. How much longer till UBI rolls out? Philman, great question. UBA will roll out first for parents in the form of a tax credit starting July 15th. So the more kids you have, the more you be stimulated up front. And it's not designed to be that up front, but we all know exactly how that plays out. Providing support for the children and helping alleviate poverty and all the kids below the poverty line, all that stuff they try to sell us. So July 15th will be our first installment, I believe, or somewhere around there. We got Ravender in the building. Okay, a fair amount of people here. Appreciate you guys for checking in, man. We got Illinois Prepper checking in. Appreciate you. We got Brother Truth Be Told. It seems like they want to drive us to plant-based food now. Yeah, and that's a whole part of the, by 2030, they don't want any live animal, no livestock, anything that's nutrition to the body outright. They don't want any of that. They want everything grown in a lab. And of course, we know who's going to be the primary landowner. Mr. Gates himself has already purchased everything. So yeah, it is what it is, man. But that's why self-sustainability right now, trying to stay ahead of the curve as best you can, is the best option. So we all knew that this was occurring, but yet it's speeding up and it's really going to intensify this summer. So all right, let me get to a couple things here, and I'm gonna start ranting. And then also the silver activity, above $28 is just that's good because it's growing close to that 30 mark. Okay, so let me dive right into a couple articles here, some things that caught my attention, and then we'll keep moving. All right, so here's an article that caught my attention literally a couple of hours ago because I already had a nice little 2 or 3 different subject matters I was going to touch on, but it looks like the cyber attack that occurred today, supposedly, and of course, it's all a damn lie. But yet, it's just interesting how this giant JBS, the largest global meat processing company on the planet, from what we're being told, had a cyber attack. And so a lot of things gonna come out from this because we all know what happened with the Colonial Pipeline and how it occurred on I think a Thursday or Friday. And then apparently they paid the ransom, I think, in Bitcoin or privacy coins or something on that Friday. And then we heard about it over the weekend. And then by the next Thursday, all the light was shined on the fact that they paid the ransom in, and of course, one mainstream story said Bitcoin, the other one said privacy coin. So whatever. But yet the question will be for this alleged attack, which is clearly done by some governmental entity, in my personal opinion, or paid hacker directly sponsored by the World Economic Forum individuals. We'll get into that. But don't be surprised that if they haven't already, they've already put up a nice little chunk of Bitcoin on top. And so that plays into the narrative of them needing to curtail back on people feeling that they can get away with not get away with these type of activities by attacking open source projects or whatnot. So it is what it is, but you know what's coming. So I'll thumb through this real quick, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. So a lot of facilities, apparently a lot in Australia, a lot in New Zealand, some in Puerto Rico, several facilities here in the U.S. were all hit virtually online somehow. Didn't get a chance to dive too deep into it, but here's some more information here that I want to share. So this is another story here. And it says cyber attack targets Greeley-based meat production giant JBS. And just to show you the extent to where the alleged attack took place, says JBS USA, the company's American subsidiary, is based in Greeley. Officials have not said how the cyber attack will impact operations at the company's 65 production facilities, including the meat packing plant in Greeley. So I'm not even sure where that even is located. Let me find out where Greeley is at. Anybody know where that's at off the top of their head? Let me see. Where is that? CBS and not Greeley official. So I don't know where that's at. It looks like a Denver picture here. So not sure if this is the Greeley and Denver. Let me know. Somebody let me know if it's in Colorado. But it says here, in addition to the production facilities, JBS had 44 prepared food facilities, 6 feedlots, 6 live hog operations, and 8 transportation terminals with operations in 28 U.S. states, Canada, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. So just look at the potential stoppage of operations. So ultimately, there's a lot of things we can learn from the Colonial Pipeline situation, which took place about a month ago, where everything came to a halt. We saw the ramifications of that, which was the pipeline from Texas all the way to New Jersey, gas lines, and all the chaos. So come tomorrow morning, when the markets open up, there's going to be a lot of, probably markets going up, surprisingly, but yet we have live feed not being fed, 6 feedlots, 6 live hog operations, 8 transportation. So basically there might be a possible week of just no activity as far as food being circulated, as well as, a lot of animals not being fed this week. And of course, they're going to try to throw something throw something our way. So somebody says Colorado. Okay. Appreciate the heads up there. So yeah, that's a lot of facilities, a lot of people who will probably not be reporting to work this week, give or take, and we'll see how that plays out. But one of the things I found very interesting, and I actually, thanks to, I think it's Ice Age Farmer, saw something he put out earlier, and everything always connects back to the global agenda, the Agenda 2030, basically the whole World Economic Forum agenda. Everything's interconnected. Nothing that is occurring right now is by accident, especially to this magnitude. And then even in the Discord page earlier today, I saw somebody mention that, we had first it was the gas, which basically caused a lot of chaos in the South in particular. And of course, there's more to the story than we were told there. And then now we have food. And then of course it all goes back to Klaus Schwab's initial speech, of which I got a link where I can connect you guys to everything. But he also said that what hasn't transpired the last year with this whole, health situation is just the beginning. Like, the cyber attack is going to attack transportation. Every area of our lives will be impacted by some type of attack. And that's why I really believe that this upcoming summer was already going to be a pricey summer, because the Federal Reserve, their target mandate, they want to overshoot it. And based upon last week's numbers, they are doing a good job of that. But then again, you got the whole supply chain shutdown deliberately with the whole clogging of the canals with these big, huge tankers, shipping containers. And I even saw something in Discord that another tanker got clogged up another canal some damn where. So they're literally doing everything they can, but they're doing it at an alarming rate, to where week by week we're going to hear some type of chaos, some type of story that's going to cause more pain ultimately at grocery stores, as well as I saw an article saying that the average gas price right now in California is about close to $5 a gallon. So for my people in California, let me know if you can verify that. And so this is just what's happening. But to keep it moving even further, here's an interesting article. Here it says JBS partners with the World Economic Forum to discuss climate change. And so this is an article here from JBS, the actual company themselves. Like, this is a UK article. It came out last month. So last month, JBS, the same company that had this cyber situation, they partner with the World Economic Forum. And so so between energy, food, which are the two primary components, go figure, that's not even included in the inflation calculations. So those two areas to this date have now been attacked, and it's caused some issues with all the debts and all the financial products and stuff that's been going to be good. It's going to hurt from as a result of this shutdowns and whatnot. But JBS partnered with the World Economic Forum last month. And so with that partnership comes their allegiance to, basically, as it says here, complementing our commitment to achieve a net zero emissions by 2040. JB was honored to attend an event organized by the Climate Governance Initiative, so another entity, in cooperation with World Economic Forum, to set out its continued dedication to increase sustainability across the value chain of greener, cleaner tomorrow. Greener, cleaner tomorrow. Like, how does a food company make and create a greener and more sustainable tomorrow, other than probably alleviating all livestock and having no real meat, giving us, lab grown, plant induced, genetically modified food? So that's a part of this collaboration, I'm sure. But yet, how do they win with this? I don't know. We'll see. But of course, it all has to do with the fact they don't want us to eat real meat. So this plays right into that. And so here's another one here. This is another I wanted to pull up as well, because this was a result of what was published right after the Colonial Pipeline situation. So it says, and this is on the World Economic Forum page, so this is them directly commenting on this the day or so after. And of course, make this even more interesting, they already had the solutions on how to fix this problem, as if they were anticipating something like this happening. But it says the U.S. pipeline attack shows the energy sector must act now on cybersecurity. Here are 6 ways how. So how is it that all these events are supposed to be just happenstance, stuff just happens, but then right after that, the World Economic Forum has something to do with these companies, whether it be partnerships with JBS or whether it be the pipeline and the whole energy sector game plan and map that they have laid out is ready to be rolled out. So it lets everybody know this is not coincidental. This is deliberate. So just give you an idea here. I can actually link this chart if you guys want to see it. But here's their game plan here. They actually got the whole little nicely drawn out map. It says 10 general cyber resilience principles, and then it says plus 6 oil and gas industry specific cyber resilience principles. So you factor all this in together. This is there, as it says here, a new World Economic Forum white paper. A white paper. Here's that word again. I love mentioning the white paper outlines specific provisions for oil and gas cybersecurity. So not only have they created the problems, they already gave us the solutions. The Hegelian dialect is in full play, people. So yeah, if you're interested in reading these notes here, I'll put them in the chat here so you guys can click on them, when you guys want, or I'll probably put them in the description after this video's done, so you guys can see exactly what they have in play for us. But yet, the problems occurred, then they already got the solutions, which let you know this is a strategic attack on us directly. Now, so let's keep moving. And so here is something I want to put on the screen as well. So I'll put the link to this as well. But basically, all of this was pretty much laid out real thoroughly well before now. And of course, it has to do with Klaus Schwab. He basically told us what's going on. And so here's a very detailed article I'll put on the RTD blog, but it gives all the detailed information, the nuts and bolts of how this is all going to play out with maps and time frames and you name it. And it all links back to that push towards a one world currency, a one world governance. So here is all the information that basically just gives us a good idea as to what's going on. And for those that may not be familiar, actually, let me see. I'll play this video for a minute here. Where, let me see here. It is it. Yep. So in this video right here, Klaus Schwab, let me see if I give you some volume. Klaus Schwab himself, he's laying out his it's time for a great reset. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Inequality, polarization, nationalism, racism. If we do not stop those trends, will lead to a post-corona world that definitively is less sustainable, less equal,
sustainable,
much more fragile. On the other hand, we can instead use our time to reimagine our world. A new social contract.
Build a new social contract.
A great reset that will shape a much more resilient system for the post-corona era.
Post-corona era.
We have to mobilize all constituents. First, to foster economic growth, which creates fairer markets, fairer outcomes. Second, we have to invest in advancing our shared goals, such as equality, protecting the sustainability.
All right, so you guys get what you guys get all that. You know what's going on. So here we have JBS partnering last month on the end of April. They partnered with the World Economic Forum, and all of a sudden, a month later, on a Sunday, over the weekend, something happens, a cyber attack. And of course, guess what's going to happen? By the end of this week, they're going to demand Bitcoin. And so by them demanding Bitcoin, they're going to come out and say, there's just too many cybersecurity events going on right now. There's too much stuff happening right now. We need to step in to help provide security for the investors, for the American people. We need this type of, involvement from our government to protect us, from the threat of the internet and all that type of stuff. So, how this plays out. It happened a month ago, so it's nothing new. But here's the thing. If this was, this is where I always question, if this was a real cyber event, what type of, hacker, ransomware, whatever that person does, would just continue to attack the most important elements of our life that help sustain our lives, whether it be gas and food so far. So I'm curious to find out via chat. Let me know what you guys think is coming next. So gas and food has already been attacked thus far to expose the vulnerabilities and all that stuff like that, like Klaus Schwab just mentioned. And so what sector is next? I'd be curious to find out, because the sector that I believe, if this was all genuine, this was a real threat that we should be concerned with, beyond the fact this is a staged event, then the most important true hack or ransom type of ordeal that should take place would be on the banking sector. Like, if this was a real entity out there really trying to disrupt things or hinder the government, hurt the government or whatever, they would probably more than likely attack the banking sector. And if you're going to attack the banking sector, wouldn't you want to probably just say, put a couple extra dollars in every single person's bank account? Like that will be a more genuine type of hack that would be outright beneficial for the people, because that would literally throw things off completely. Where, I wouldn't be surprised that there will be a cyber attack on the banking sector pretty soon. Now that I think about that, that could honestly be something that's coming pretty soon, because that will probably be the last check off their list, because that plays into the money sector. And definitely it'll be right in alignment with the need for a more centrally controlled governance model, i.e. the US the EUSD, the electronic USD, or the central bank currency. So I could probably say that the cyber attack on the banking sector will come last, if that is the case. And it will not be to add more currency to your account. It will literally be probably to, there's going to be when you check in, when you try to log in, it's going to say it's zero balance or negative, depending on what's already in there. And so that's kind of where this thing is heading. And then so I see someone here say the power grid. That could be on the table as well. So the question will be, would it be power grid or the banking side of things first? Because if you cut the power, that automatically includes the banking, because people wouldn't be able to log in, ATMs be closed, branches would be closed. But then also it would interrupt the internet. And I think they still use, or we use, internet version 1. They probably are already utilizing version 3, which is this Elon Musk Starlink version. So yeah, but you guys see what's going on, man. So more disruption, more chaos, and it's not even the first day of June yet. And then sometime the next week or two, Congress and I think the Pentagon or something like that will be releasing the UFO, the X-Files. And so it's going to get crazy with that as well. So yeah, man, but we see what's going on. So what does all this mean? You should have already been taking steps to disconnect from the system as best as you can, knowing that instability will be coming, because that's a part of their agenda. And so that means getting a little bit of everything extra that you need. And that includes food, that includes additional power sources, that includes all the things you need, of course, as some people might say out there, a little extra lead and things like that, just for reserves, just for your safety measures. You know what I'm saying? And then so brother, truth be told, says, get out of the city. I'm sorry. Jonah says, get out of big cities. That would be if that's possible, that would be a great idea. And then let me see here. I saw something about cryptocurrency. Somebody said cryptocurrencies. Crypto's crash coming next. That is a possibility. I see something happening in that department soon, but I don't think it's going to stay down. But let's talk a little bit. Let me get somebody on here real quick. Let me see. Hello, caller. Anybody there? Let me make sure. Let me see if I can get everything going on my side here. Give me 1 second here. I think I have to set something up on my side. Hello? All right. So I might have a little bit of a hiccup here. Let me make sure my volume is up. Give me 1 second. Hello? Anybody there? Going once, going twice? All right, so it may not be functional. Let me try to fix something on my side here. I apologize for that. Let me make sure I can hear myself. How's my volume out there? Let me know if you guys can hear me well. Let me try something different. Let me try to use, give me 1 second here. I'll try it a different way. Let's try this. All right, let me see what I can get here. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Yep. Hiccups on my end. But anyway, give me a call. Let's try to do it. I'll try to do it on my phone instead of the computer. But anyway, give me a call. Let's talk. Curious to get your thoughts. So sound is good. Okay, I appreciate that. So yeah, technical issues do happen. So give me a call back. I'll try to definitely buy in a ham radio. Yep, I was just over the weekend talking to one of my family members about getting a ham radio because it's going to be important. Let's get a call in. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
What's going on, Mike?
Dwayne, how you doing, my man? Give me a quick thought. What's in your mind?
What did I tell you? What was the new asset class?
Food.
That's all I wanted to say, Mike. That's the new asset class.
Yeah, that is very true, because they are deliberately destroying our supply chain with food, and then they don't want us to have real food. And even, think about this. Genetically modified food in certain states do not need to be labeled. And so over this weekend or so, I was eating an apple, and there were a couple apples, went bad on the surface. So I threw them, out in the yard just for the squirrels or whatnot. And the squirrels were chewing on them for a couple of days. But I went outside a day or two later, and the damn things were not rotten. So I'm thinking like these apples genetically modified, and they don't, they're not labeled that on the surface, but they were good as hell, pretty big plump apples, but them boys were not rotten. So I'm thinking like, man, I've been eating genetically modified apples the whole time.
Wow,
so we may not even know,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's getting real biblical out here, man.
Yeah.
Real biblical out here.
Yeah.
So
very
man, y'all
true.
just keep your head up, keep your head on the swivel, stay prayed up, and just remember, food, the new asset class.
Yeah.
Prepare accordingly.
Yeah, very true, man. Appreciate you calling, man.
Yeah, no problem. Bye-bye.
Yeah, give me a call. I'm gonna use my phone, so it should be good to go. Let me know how the volume on the calls are. Let me know if you guys can hear that. But yeah, just so that Apple, like so, and so here's another. So even in the chat, I put something up about genetically modified food with.
Can you hear me?
Yep, give me 1 sec. Let me. Yep, I can. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, PT Money from South Philly. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, my friend. Give me a quick thought. What's on your mind?
Well, how come it's never a black paper? How come it's always a white paper?
Hey, good question, man. But I've never seen physical black paper before. So let me know if you see that.
Like brown paper. But seriously, man, it's time to do what we got to do. What do you think of Basel III? I have a clinical suspicion here that Basel III is a setup for the European Union giving the middle finger to the UK and the US, saying, hey, you used to have the monopoly, but now we're not interested anymore. We're going to pivot towards the East with the Shanghai Gold Exchange and not allow you guys to call this corrupt market anymore. You're losing your swagger. What do you think?
I think that's
and I'll leave it to that. God bless.
I appreciate you, man. So that's a great question. So I think that whole Basel III is definitely designed to give us the idea that there's some disruptions behind the scene. But also remember, we had a Basel I, Basel II as well, which all had to do with trying to stabilize the monetary system, in particular after the great financial crises. But it really didn't do anything. It just gave the illusion that they're trying to control things. But all along, China was already doing what they were doing, and Russia's already doing what they're doing. They're sitting on the most gold, the unknown gold for sure. And the Belt and Road Initiative is the next monetary hub, along with the maritime and the Silk Road and stuff like that, dealing with Africa. So I wouldn't be surprised if this whole Basel III is smoke and mirrors to give those in the Western world the idea that things are about to change. They're basically telling us that things are going to change, but will they change in the way that we are anticipating? Like Alistair McLeod does a good job of laying out everything according to what the bullion banks have, what COMEX don't have, and all the contracts and unallocated. He does a good job of doing that. But we already knew that they had the game rigged heavily, systemically for the last 50 years when it came time to who owns the most gold. The U.S. does not. The West has it all now. So I can see that them being able to somehow, some way, we get through June 28th and nothing really changes, because this whole World Economic Forum reset stuff is tied into all this Basel III. It's like, there's no way that the IMF, the Swiss Bank, the World Bank, all those entities, they're not working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum to try to navigate this together. It's not like the World Economic Forum over here doing this, trying to get meat out of our hands and energy, food, and all this stuff like that. And they're not talking about gold and whatever. It's all linked. So I think there's more to the story than what we're being told, but the information we have gives a lot of stackers and a lot of people confidence that, hey, it's coming apart at the seams right now. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I wouldn't hold my breath thinking that June 28th, on June 29th or July 1st or whatever, we're going to wake up to $400 silver and $4,000, gold, just because they've been doing this for quite some time now. This whole experience is several hundred years old. It's just not 50, because the central banks, controlled by the Rothschilds and all those other entities, they have this thing on lock. But I'm hopeful. I would love, Lord, please, you intervene divinely, do some things, shake some stuff up, sure. But I wouldn't hold my breath is what I'm saying. So, but yet if it does happen, hey, I'd be happy, you know what I'm saying? But again, in the meantime, for those that are awake and aware, it still buys more time for people to get their weight up. Ultimately, that's what it's about. It's about literally realizing that this person here, these two people here, Trump and Biden, they were the last presidents, whoever it really is. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter, because I really think we're in a state of national emergency, i.e. the military, I really believe, is in charge. That's the whole Washington, D.C., the Capitol being surrounded, troops on the ground. You know, I don't really think there's a true administration in the White House, because I haven't seen anything that lead me to believe it's factual, other than just some bootleg photo ops and some green screen backgrounds with that current whole administration. So, but yeah, we'll see. But anyway, give me a call. Give me some more thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. The whole Basel III, is it really going down or what? And speaking of which, my dang mouse, my battery's going dead on my mouse. Ain't that something? If it ain't one thing, it's another. But anyway, give me a call or share a thought in the chat, and we can go from there. James says, Mike, stock market crash could be next. Crash. Any moment there's a threat of something ultimately correcting in the form of a crash. But I really believe, we go back and forth a lot of times with a lot of people in the community, that there will never be another stock market crash. There's going to be a correction, because all this talk of inflation, I think it has more to do with, of course, the central bankers and the federal government fighting deflation, because it's a debt bubble that's deflating. So they got to keep this thing pumped up. So all this debt implosion, and just watching a lot of, other great commentators talk about just the liquidity situation and the lack of availability of dollars to meet all these obligations. Because think about this, every single debt obligation on the planet primarily is denominated in dollars. And as they are imploding, more dollars are needed to reinflate those debts and to pay back those debts. So there might be an issue where there's not enough dollars going around, which could hold things off for quite some time, I believe. Let's get another call in. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. How's it going? It's Brando Commando.
Brando, how you doing, my man? Give me a quick thought.
I'm doing great. Hey, so I was watching Steven Van Meter today, and he's showing more charts about deflation coming up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Fed, they're taking the stage and saying that this inflation is going to be short-lived, and everyone's laughing and scoffing and doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So Steven Van Meter put out a really good thing today, talking about how it's going to be deflationary.
Yeah.
And this afternoon, I was sending some of my friends, that dollar chart that you always show, how the purchasing power is going down.
Yeah.
So, I was showing them that one, and I was looking up, the M1, M2 money supplies, and just found different charts. And basically, it showed how the value of the dollar went down from 6 cents in 2016 to 5 cents in 2019.
Yeah.
Now it's down to 3 cents. But I'm wondering, how low can it go?
Yeah.
It's almost as though it's imaginary as it is.
Yeah. And I've always mentioned, and that's the thing, that you have the bond market, which is the lifeline of the entire global economy. So you have the euro dollars and all those other denominated dollar versions or whatnot. So when I talk about the dollar and how low can it go, I'm talking about literally just the purchasing power of what I hold in my pocket and what I can buy today, and expectation of what I can buy next year or 5 years from now. And in my personal opinion, the purchasing power of $1, which is what this chart calculates based upon what one single unit could purchase 100+ years ago, has already gone negative to me. Because what can you actually buy for a single unit? Like one piece of paper, if you were to hold one piece of paper, what can you actually buy for it in regards to what you actually need? You can't buy a pack of gum for $1 nowadays. So whereas in this this one bill, when it was freshly printed in 1913 from the Federal Reserve, was a day's wage. You could went to the grocery store and you could have did a lot of stuff just with one piece of paper. Whereas today, you can't really do much of anything. So it's already gone negative. So that's how I look at it personally. But you got the dollar index measured against other fiat currencies. That crap right there, I don't really pay much attention to.
Yeah. So if you do look at those charts, though, there was a period of time where the dollar gained strength. Yeah. And it was the period of time between the crash in 29 and when FDR revalued gold in 33. Yeah. So for those 3 years, it was a deflationary period.
Yeah. That's very true. And that's where it gets real technical, because I see some comments in the chat talking about deflation. And so I would encourage you, because Steve Van Meter, as you mentioned, he's the bond king. He's very dollar and bond bullish because of his thesis. And so I would basically, for those that are curious as to how you can have deflation, go check that out, because I did get a chance to watch that video as well. So, it's it contradicts the Austrian economic school of thought based upon what we're anticipating, based upon the current definition of inflation. So it gives you a lot of stuff to think on, I believe. So, but hey, man.
Here's one more quick deflationary thought, right? So you know what else causes deflation is when they kill the velocity of money. Yeah. And you know how they kill money velocity? Just like they did last year. They lock everyone down and lay everyone off. Yeah. And you know what Bill Gates always said, and he snickers? He says, I think the next pandemic is really going to be a bad one. So they might cause a deflationary period by, coronavirus 2.0 coming up next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, man. It's always good to hear your voice.
All right, Mike, I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. We got. So yeah, that's another great thing. So I see. So here's something I've been thinking about, and this is not off subject, but it's all interconnected, because you can't have one without the other, and that has to do with the whole health global situation we're experiencing, and of course the stuff that everybody's been incentivized to do. They got the lotteries and the sweepstakes, and bring a friend, get $50 for bringing them to get that thing in the arm. But based upon, I intentionally do a lot of extra alternative media studying on that subject matter, because you can't have one without the other. And that's why I always believe that a lot of people out here, they're planning for a prosperous financial future, not realizing their financial future is interconnected with whether or not they cooperate with this entire agenda. And the entire agenda has to do with the fact that if you don't take that, you don't get your paperwork to be able to live in society normally. So there's going to have to be a disconnect from the real world at some point. But as far as what could be coming this upcoming winter, is that I'm anticipating, and this is just me hearing a lot of people who are doctors in their own right behind the scenes, but a lot of people are anticipating that this upcoming flu season, because last year we skipped it, remember, because everything was about cases. So this upcoming flu season will be a extreme and harsh flu season type event, because of those people who have participated. Their bodies are going to be the ones now that are directly vulnerable, because this whole thing in your arm is not a cure. It's a immune weakening, eventually, type of genome recalculating and type of ordeal. So I think this upcoming fall is going to be very harsh for a lot of people, especially those that participated. And therefore, from a mainstream media narrative, they're going to say, cases are through the roof. Everybody here, we got to lock this down or shut this down or do something. And if you're in a Democratic state, such as the one I'm in now, primarily due to Whitmer, she's going to do something harsh. And so she already gave us the 5 steps to get back to normal, of which they scrapped that for some reason. And they went on the whole idea that you can go take your stuff off and enjoy life. And if you participated, you can travel over the weekend without having to separate yourself from other people. So you know how that stuff go. But yeah, so at any moment, the economy can basically be brought to a halt or slow still because of what's going on in the health realm. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Let me see. I have somebody there. Let me see if I still got him there. Give me 1 second. Do I still got somebody there? I do not. Give me a call back. Take a couple more calls, and we'll get ready to dial back. But anyway, for those that are new, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, show your support for the channel, share your thoughts in the chat, or give me a call, and hopefully I can get you on here. I apologize for the phone line here acting up on me, but it is what it is. So yeah, and it's definitely, make sure you enjoy this summer. And that's why I literally, on a day-to-day basis, I remind myself to really enjoy the moment, enjoy today while today is today, because tomorrow brings a whole nother world of troubles, to where, yeah, I'm going to really try my best to enjoy this summer as best I can, while also trying to stay in tune, stay plugged in, and definitely on the financial side of things, always, try to stack, get my weight up, and do other things that I like to do to be able to speculate, to try to position myself in a better light. So anyway, give me a call. Say the grid is next. Yeah, see the grid. Yeah. And so at any minute, I think the grid and the power grid going down would be a last minute, probably it's like a plan B that they wouldn't want to use, because it'll slow them down, because the grid goes down, possibly the 5G towers might go down. All the surveillance cameras along your freeway that they put up during lockdown might go down, because I don't see many like solar powered, instruments on city lights and things like that. So I don't think they'll be able to keep them cameras on and stuff like that. So I think that's a worst case scenario. if they were to somehow lose control of things or something happened that was not foreseen by them or planned, then I can see the grid going down, because that's like, hey, if we're going to lose, we're not losing. We're going to cut this damn lights off. And then that right there would definitely still be in their benefit, but it has slowed things down for us. I remember mentioning this in the Hangout a while back, is that the best thing that could happen to us at this current moment, in my opinion, because there's nobody coming in on a white horse saving the day. Ain't no political party, political affiliate, because they're all bought and paid for politicians. They all have a lot at stake. Their careers, their reputations, their children's, their name is on them. They're on their ability to be able to cooperate and continue to do what they do. So ain't nobody coming to save you. And so that's why I always mention there's three ways of bracing and ultimately looking at things. You have the natural realm, based upon what we know, the practical realm, what you do, and then the spiritual realm. And so all three of those areas are things we should always, on a day-to-day basis, we should be, taking preparation, making preparations. And of course, everything boils down to your faith and your ability to trust God, because all this is nothing new to him. It's just probably new to us. But Revelations lets us know how this all comes to an end. But anyway, so I don't see them taking a grid down just because that'll disrupt them, but yet anything's possible. So those are all things that, we will find out. But we all know that this summer is going to be kind of hot, literally hot. And then, of course, pricey. And for those that might just be tuning in, I kind of share some thoughts on how JBS, the same company that experienced a cyber attack, happened to have partnered with the World Economic Forum on April 28th and the whole sustainability, net carbon emissions by 2040. And the only thing food companies have anything to do with climate change is the actual livestock and cattle that they grow and slaughter and put on people's plates. So they're trying to get away from actually doing that and giving us processed, genetically modified food. That's what they want on our tables. And of course, nothing's new because that's a part of their plan. And then I showed another link here where prior to the pipeline, or after the pipeline, the World Economic Forum came out with their 6 ways of how to solve the cybersecurity when it comes to energy. And of course, there's all that user-friendly, eco-friendly type stuff. They gave it a little blueprint here of things that governments could do to help solve these problems. And of course, it was already planned, so nothing's new. And then I went back to this video here where Klaus Schwab basically mentioned that the whole COVID situation was just a warm-up in comparison to what's coming. And so he's basically saying that there's going to be a cyber attack. He said it in his video. There's going to be a cyber attack that will make COVID-19 very small in comparison, which this cyber event is going to impact every area of our lives. So far we've had gas a month ago, food this time. And then a question I put out there to everybody else is what's next? And people said the power grid. I said definitely the banking sector, because they're redefining what we call money anyway. So it's all interconnected. But if you really want to know what's going on, there's, let me see, I'll put this link here beneath. If you really want to know what's going on, of course, you can always take a look at the World Economic Forum graph, because they've already categorized every area of our lives that they want to control, and they actually give it in map form. So if you go to worldeconomicforum.org and go to the far left side, they're all labeled. So this particular page here is cybersecurity, but as you see, there's an entire map of things that they've planned that branches off. Let me see if I can click it and give you guys a heads up. And so it's a very detailed map as to how they want to get this thing rolled out. So as you guys see on the screen here, this is just one cybersecurity. And every area of our lives, they already have a category for. This is cybersecurity based upon the internet. But look at all these things around here. These are all things that they have so-called thought out for this Agenda 2030. You'll own nothing, be happy with it. If all this stuff succeeds, game over, we lose. And so that's kind of where this is heading. So the more you know, the better you can prepare in the short term. But it's more important to inform and to wake up our family and friends, because those are the ones that think the people who have participated in this whole experience. Those are the people who think that there's a norm to go back to. And after March 20 of last year, all that changed. Nothing from this time forth will ever be the same in regards to the way it used to be. But yet that's good as well, because with this change comes opportunity for people to really step up to the plate and really get back to the basics of life, which is literally your family, your friends, community, relationships, and just basically, and this is where I'm like big on this summer, trying to do my best to learn how to sustain myself outside of the system, because I'm a city boy. All I've known is living in a city. So the learning curve is very steep, but yet, with God's grace, I'm sure I'm going to be able to get to it. Low blood pressure. Appreciate you, my man, for the love offering. And of course, as he mentioned here, get your weight up. Stack like there's no tomorrow, because the price of an ounce of silver, let me actually get on that real quick. And I want to show that, and I'll get ready to dial back. But silver did its thing today. And it don't take much for it to move in order to be impressive, because right now it's 28.27, and this is what's happening in the Asian markets right now. So when we wake up tomorrow by 9:30, we're going to look up. It's going to be 27.26, because it's going to be a slam down. They're going to, one of the bullion banks, they're going to dump, 300 million ounces worth of metal onto the market, for a loss at that. And of course, it'll be back to 27. But yet we all know, and this is what I really want to touch on. So this is what I wanted to talk about before we got into the crises or the alleged attack. Let me get my mouse right. But I think that this, let me pull this on the screen here. Because somebody shared this in the chat, and I thought this was big. So this is one of those events that could be a sign of them losing control, or it could be something they'll try to paper over. And let me actually put this on the screen here so you guys can see it. But I think there's just an article here. My battery's low on my mouse. Having issues with this mouse. Man, come on now. So let me show you guys this, and we'll end on this note here. But United States Mint announces global silver shortage, shuts down orders for silver coins. And, by a show of hands out there, anybody in the chat was planning on getting the numismatic versions of the Morgan dollar and Peace dollar, the 100-year plus anniversaries. Let me know in the chat here if you guys were thinking about getting one. But once again, to my knowledge, the last time I thought about there had been a silver issue, from what we were told, was in 1960, 61, 62, when they used that silver coin issue to remove silver from coinage in 1964. And so now that, the United States Mint, which are the actual issuers of the United States money, lawful money, when they say there's a silver shortage, and then all hell has officially broken loose, because they're saying that we don't have enough to meet demand. Becky Hoffman, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your blessing. Thank you for your generous offering. Appreciate you for supporting the channel and pouring us down with love. I thank you for that offering. Thank you. So when they admit that there's a silver shortage, that basically lets us know that, they are. So we're almost halfway through the rest of this year. That means that premiums on current government issued silver eagles in particular, and all the gold products will probably definitely go up. So expect, say tomorrow, by show of hands or anybody in the chat, if you've had over the weekend, if you try to go out and purchase over the weekend, let me know what your premiums looking like, because I'd imagine they were already $10 on my side, and I think that's relatively still cheap, because that's about 37. But yet for generic rounds, it was like $5 or whatever. But I don't really, other than, my own rounds, I don't really do the generics. I just either, get my own weight up or buy the lawful money from the government. But what do you guys think about this? So premiums will definitely go up. So this type of thing here, this type of event here could be the fuse that literally lights the wick, and it burns a lot faster, because once you have the United States Mint not able to source metal to provide for their coinage, what they're supposed to be able to, allegedly they have to go out to the market and get it at any price. Now it's a matter of like, okay, will they continue to be a part of the manipulation of the price, or will they need to eventually let the true price discovery mechanisms take form, so that they can save themselves on the amount of headache they're going to experience in the field? But here's the actual note that went out from the Mint, and it's very interesting. It says the global silver shortage has driven demand for many of our bullion and numismatic products to record highs. And then it says, as the demand for silver remains greater than the supply. So the supply is truly not an issue. It's the price. like I've always mentioned before, there's more than enough gold and silver above ground for everybody to have some. It's just that you're going to have to actually come up with an ideal price for people to be willing to exchange it or to sell it back into the market, where it's good to say everybody's expecting that, couple $100 an ounce, at least 3-figure number for an ounce of silver. But then at that point, you still shouldn't get rid of it, because when you look at, let me actually pull it on the screen here, the most ideal method for trying to get an idea as to what the price should be according to the paper units in circulation. Let me actually zoom in here and zoom out. And so if you were to look at this particular chart here, let me go over here and let me go over here. And so this is what, according to the measurement about US debt clock as of right now. So the total amount of paper, the M2, which was discontinued, and of course there's a 21 missing trillion and everything else we have no clue about out there. But when you think about the known amount of supply of paper, which is, several $1 trillion, divided by the amount of silver that comes out of the ground per year, according to the, some metal council or whatnot, 1 ounce of silver at this current moment should be $4,762. And so at that price right there, how many people by show of hands be willing to put it back into the hands of their coin shop or whatnot? You guys let me know, because once again, that 4,000 is extremely low. Just think about, and I was mentioning this earlier to somebody, about how rhodium, which is a metal, a base metal that nobody really pays attention to, but yet I was actually online looking for rhodium coins, and there are no rhodium coins to be found, because them boys right now is $22,000 for 1 ounce of a rhodium coin. And so rhodium, once again, it's another metal that only the people who are probably in the mining space and those people who actually know how and what they're doing out there in the investment realm would actually know about rhodium like that. But of course, a lot of people here in the community has mentioned rhodium before. And so let me actually, I'm trying to look for a rhodium coin. So here is so I thought this was kind of slick here. This is a rhodium coin, a government issued rhodium coin, but this has this black tint. And so this is interesting, rhodium plated. So that's yeah. But anyway, people, we can go on and on and on, but we're not. I appreciate everybody for taking time to join me. Has a huge spread, wider than a cog. Low blood pressure. That man. That's a funny one, man. Oh man, good stuff, man. But anyway, people, it's been great hanging out. If you have enjoyed the back and forth and having a chance to interact amongst the community, hit that thumbs up button. And then I want to encourage you, for those that are still tuned in, I want to encourage you to go over to right now at the end of this video, go over to the social media tab at the bottom and then join the Discord page. Just click the fourth button from the top, the Discord page, join the chat there. We all talk throughout the day there. We all connect throughout the day there. And then also join the email list so that you can always stay connected. So if you click this link here, it'll take you directly to the sign up form where you can just put your email address in. You'll get notified by me at least once a week of everything for that week. You'll always be informed. And then the very last one here, I want to make sure you guys know, the Get Your Weight Up coin. You can't be caught without one. Let me get this page refreshed so you guys can see what's going on. Limited edition, still available. Great opportunity for those that want to add a collector's piece to your stack. They're over here. And link beneath the video as well. So if you guys are interested, get your weight up. You know what time it is. So you can have an actual Get Your Weight Up coin. Nowhere else but right here. So anyway, be blessed, be safe, people. I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. And other than that, let's stay prayed up. And then also, for those that are new to the channel, as I mentioned before, my 3 primary areas of focus happens to be the natural elements of things that we already know about, the practicals, what we do about it. Once you know, you can hopefully do better. But then you can't really do anything. You can't bear fruit unless you're a part of the vine. And that's where I think the spiritual element comes into play. And I like to try to end every episode by giving the Lord his due respect and due honor, because if it wasn't for him, I know for sure I wouldn't have had a chance to have been awakened to the reality of things, knowing that, you know, Satan's a lie. His role is to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's all this. This is what all this is about. Everything we're experiencing is a part of the whole satanic, his role to try to be God himself, which he cannot do. He's already failed. Christ already put an end to that. But for those that are still alive in this current time frame, it's our responsibility to bear fruit. And that fruit happens to do with us helping bring souls into the kingdom of God. And by basically preaching and proclaiming the kingdom of God message. And so that's ultimately what it boils down to. So I like to make sure I end on that because I need to be reminded of myself to stay cheerful and be of good courage, because things around you can seem to be pressing at times, but God has already won and we're already victorious in him. And King D says, agree with the RT isn't the same without the Cuban music. Yeah, so that was just me searching for some royalty-free music. But anyway, people, with that being the case, let's stay. For those that are interested, I want to definitely connect, because it says clear as day, whenever two or more are gathered in his name, he's in the midst of us. And we all, whether you believe or not, in this current time frame, you know, everybody falls back on what they truly believe at their core. And hopefully that is you're dependent upon Christ to make it through the day-to-day side of things. So anyway, for those that are still tuning around, lower your head real quick, if you don't mind. Let's end this on a good note with some good news, which is basically Christ already paid the price. All we got to do is receive it. And that's all she wrote, people. But anyway, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this Monday night. We pray for all those people who have given their lives for this country, Father. We pray that you be with them and their family and friends. And we pray that moving forward, Father, that you will open and enlighten the eyes of their understanding. Those that know you and those that don't, may they come into your kingdom, Father, by believing in your Son, Jesus Christ, and the blood he shed for our sins. Lord, we thank you for wisdom and guidance in this day and age. We ask that your spirit fills us with just-in-time information to allow our steps to be guided according to your word. And we ask it all in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, people. So with that being the case, that's all she wrote for tonight. Be blessed, be safe, stay prayed up, and I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace. Can't even end the show because my mouse won't work. Peace. See you guys later.